Još jedno izdanje emisije Oni vole Srbiju. Kao što vidite, nalazimo se na Banjici. Danas ćemo imati priliku da ugostimo vaterpolistu Partizana. U pitanju je Džejdan Kutajar, vaterpolista sa Malte, pa da ne gubimo vreme, idemo da ga upoznamo i da čujemo njegovu priču.
Naša taktika je biti bonus dobrodošlice.
Majke mi ne mogu da se odlučim.
Ja biram dobrodošlicu, puno voća.
Zato ja biram dnevni cashback.
Samo u Soccerbetu igraj i uživaj u bonusu koji izabereš. Soccerbet, pravi bonusi na pravom mestu za prave igrače.
Pa pre nego što krenemo sa snimanjem emisije sa Džejdanom, ja sam trenerom htela da vam se javim, da vas pozdravim. Kako ste? Ste dobro?
Nije loše. Dobro vam došli.
Hvala vam, bolje vas našli. Drago mi je što smo ovdje i vidimo sve ove trofeje. Pa recite mi kako ste pre svega, kako napreduju trenizi, slušaju momci?
Pa trenizi napreduju dobro, možda nas trenutno ne prate baš toliko rezultati, osciliramo u rezultatima, evo čak ovaj posljednji vikend imali su tu pobedu nad Proleterom i onda možda neplanirani poraz na Petercu od Vojvodine, ali to je vjerojatno deo nekog procesa koji za jednu ovako mladu ekipu normalan i kažem osciliramo, ali generalno momci rade dobro.
Džejdan je koliko ima? 3-4 godine kako je ovdje?
Pa da, nisam ni ja još se igrao, ali tu 3-4 godine tu. On potpunosti razume srpski, tek povremeno ponekad mu se obraćam na engleskom i tako komuniciramo, ali to olakšava svaku komunikaciju, tako da je on momak koji se usavršava u tom segmentu, želi da nauči naš jezik u potpunosti, a naravno što se tiče radne etike, tu je sve na nivou.
Kako reaguje jedan stranac kada dođe, kao što je na primjer Džejdan došao sa Malte, voli vaterpolo i dođe ovdje koji je zaista hram vaterpola, kako reaguju?
Pa, znate kako, mi se trudimo, mislim, možda smo mi malo i nerealni, a možda i nismo. Mi dalje smatramo da smo sigurno jedna od najboljih škola vaterpola na svetu i verujem da igračima, pogotovo istakle jedne ne vaterpolo zemlje, sigurno mnogo znači da dođe ovdje, ali on se za svoj status trenutno izborio. Naravno, poklopilo se i to da prva ekipa Partizana trenutno je jako mlada, kažem najmlađa u istoriji, tako da se otvorio prostor za te neke mladi igrače pa i za njega, tako da verujem da on ove 3 godine iskoristio sigurno da napreduje, pored toga on igra za svoju reprezentaciju, tako da ne nedostaje mu broj utakmica, a ja verujem da se i dalje igrači sa velikim poštovanjem dolaze od ovaj klub i na ovaj, kako ste rekli, bazen hram vaterpola.
Ja ću sad polako da krenem, da ne čeka Džejdan, pa ga vraćamo kroz sat vremena, vraćamo ga na dupli trening.
Slobodno, izvolite slobodno.
You know what I've noticed? I've noticed that when you're talking, when you're speaking, you have like a Greek accent. You look like a Greek accent.
Yes. I get a lot of questions about where I'm from my accent. A lot of people tell me, you know, are you from Italy? Are you from Saudi Arabia or something, or from Greece? The thing is that the Maltese language, it contains a lot of languages inside of it. You know, it has English, it has Arabic, and it has Italian, a bit of French also. You know, so when I speak in my normal accent, you know, when I'm out, and even if I'm talking to my parents on the phone in Maltese, a lot of people are confused as to.
So would you mind to introduce yourself in your language just to hear how it sounds?
Okay. What do you need me to say?
Hello, I'm Džejdan. I'm happy to film the show.
Okay. Jena Džejdan Kutajar, l-lum qed nagħmel interview għal Rana Sport u jgħat kuntent ħafna li jgħataw.
Okay, and you just send me a translation for it. I didn't understand anything.
You know,
I didn't understand anything.
Džejdan Kutajar. Basically what I said, I'm Džejdan Kutajar. I'm doing an interview for Rana Sport and I'm very happy to be here.
It's very difficult language. So thank you for introducing us to this language. It's pretty tough. But okay, that was my first question because it was interesting to me to hear your accent. But I need to say I'm very happy to have you here today because it's been like a couple of years with some pauses. Since you came to Serbia, you went back to Malta. Malta, we will talk about this later. So my first question, the most important question, how are you doing, Jayden? How are you?
Very good right now. Very good. Working hard, especially, you know, when I'm here. I make sure that I make the best out of my time, you know. School, water polo, I try to balance, you know. And for the most part, it all goes well. The school system in Malta works a little bit different. Like secondary school is about 5 years.
Yeah.
And then you will take like a pre-college 2 years. You have to do exams for that before you go to university. And right now I'm in that pre-college 2-year period. And later on this year, I will be doing my exams.
Actually, it's completely different from our system.
Yes.
You know, I have a lot of questions for you, but I think the best thing to do is to go to a restaurant, sit, because the weather is a little bit weird this week. I don't wanna have problems with the rain, with anyone. I want to sit and have a conversation and talk about your beginnings in water polo and your experience here in Serbia.
Good.
Okay? Tell me, come on, in your language. How'd you say it?
Ehamoro.
Oh, no, I cannot say that. Okay, it's okay. It's okay. So a very cozy environment. And you told me you already know this place. You're coming here often.
No, not often, but my friends brought me here a few times after training, you know, have a snack together. So I'm used to it here, kind of, yes.
Okay, I hope you like it. I hope you
Yes, it's
like
fine,
our
it's
choice.
fine,
Okay.
yes.
So Jayden, we have a lot of topics and we started earlier to talk a little bit about Malta, about your country. But now I would like to know about your water polo career. So tell me first of all, how everything started with water polo.
So I was always attracted to the water. You know, when I was 2 years old, my father tells me that he took me to the beach in March or April, and it was very cold water, but I still wanted to go and swim, you know, so I was always attracted to the sea and to the water. So I started swimming until I was maybe 7 years old. And then there was a moment where a water polo coach, he noticed that I'm left-handed. And he said, like, he went to speak to my father. He told him, you know, like, bring him for a few sessions to try, you know. And I went, and from there, everything changed, you know. I had to be at water polo, and I had like a 1-year period where I was doing water polo and swimming at the same time.
Okay.
And when at swimming training, it would be total sadness, you know, thinking about water polo. And then at water polo training, I was calm, happy, at home, you know. And then I decided to take on water polo totally. And from then, you know, now we're here.
I understand you because I was a swimmer and I know that swimming can be very, very bad from time to time because you don't see anything. You're alone. You're alone in the pool and you basically see only the line.
You're counting the tides, yes.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes. It's not for the weak swimming.
It's like you're okay one time when you can concentrate and relax and meditate a little bit, but all the time, no, it's a matter. So you prefer to do wrestling in the water with you guys?
100%. 100%.
So basically, you told me you got scouted. You were scouted because they
they needed some kids to start. You know, they wanted to build an academy at the club, and I was one of them. You know, I was just one of the many who started. But then the more I fell in love with water polo, the more I took it seriously, and the more I showed, you know, what I am.
Yeah, but refresh my mind right now, because when I think about Malta, water polo actually is very popular. We have the Summer League. And which other sports are popular?
Football.
Okay,
Football
yeah,
is almost in
sure.
every country the best. But then, you know, water polo is among the many who have a lot of success.
Yeah.
And we have water polo, have basketball, shooting. We're very good at shooting. Darts, snooker, not the most physical of sports. Weightlifting also. We're very good at that. But we have a great mix. You know, sport is part of our culture. It's a very big part of it, yes.
You never had this moment when you wanted to try football?
Yes, I did, but it was very brief. You know, my father kind of cleared my head about it, and he made me understand that, you know, water polo is my, I think, best option, because football, although it's very popular and there's a lot to gain from it, there's a lot of bad things also to gain, you know. And water polo, I think, is the total opposite, because water polo is like disciplined all the time, the regime, going to training all the time and being disciplined. And that's, I think, what he wanted me to follow, and it worked out, and now I'm very happy.
Yeah, cool. Now, I want to talk more about water polo, but you know what's interesting to me, before we were talking about that, you were talking about the lifestyle in Malta. So I wanted to ask you a little bit about your life there and to compare a little bit with your life here, because you said a lot of interesting things, but I'll give you the word so you can tell us.
Okay, for me, from my perspective, Malta and Belgrade are total opposites, naturally, because Malta is very small. You know, a lot of people, a lot of things get around, so it's like every day is a constant gossip, and you know, it's quite crazy. But I can't say I don't enjoy it for some time. You know, those 3 months in summer when I'm there, I really need them to, you know, be a bit crazy. You know, before I come back here and I'm more calm. I'm alone here. You know, I forget my family. You know, because if I think about them too much and my friends, I start to miss it, and I don't make the best out of what I have here. So I try to keep my bubble here, focus alone, and it's a totally different Džejdan Kutajar that you see here from the one you see in Malta.
Yeah, I understand. Well, adaptation is a very important part in your job. So you need to get used to it, but I hope you're enjoying your life here.
100%.
And I'm sure you are. So tell me, what do you like here?
My heart is really here, you know. I'm a person who loves to really be obsessed on what he does, and water polo and school, of course. Those are my main goals and my main priorities, you know, when I'm working hard. And Belgrade and Partizan is a perfect channel for me to give what I need to give, you know, the hard training, the mentality and the character of the club and of the country.
Yeah.
You know, the people here in Belgrade and Balkan people are very hard, and they're very passionate about what they do. So I feel like it is the perfect place for me to develop, you know. Yes.
And I think you find your place here, because you're thinking sometimes like a Serbian. You're speaking Serbian. I know.
Yes.
I know you understand basically everything what we're doing.
Yes. I mean, from being around my friends and being around the coach, the first things I picked up were things from the pool, you know, things about training. But then the more I socialized with my friends, the more I got used to understanding proper conversation, you know. And now I'm still learning. I can't say, you know, I'm fluent, but I hope to get there one day. I hope to be fluent in Serbian.
Cool. I'm sure you will. I'm sure you will, because I mean, you made a great effort, and we can see you're making an effort. And before talking about your experience here, talking about Partizan, I would like to get to know you more, because you were talking about school and education. So tell me, what are you studying? What are your goals maybe in the future? Is everything connected with sports, or maybe you're developing something else?
I wouldn't say everything is connected with sports.
Okay.
I would say everything is connected with building a good life, you know.
Right.
But the priority is, of course, right now, water polo. However, school is very important, you know. Water polo not being the biggest sport in the world, you need to think about what you're going to do when you turn 40 and you end up retiring, you know, and you have to see what you want to do. Right now, I don't have an idea of becoming a coach, you know, so I need something else to think about. My passion outside of water polo is computer studies. I like to study computers, you know, and that's my kind of, you know, not hobby, but it's what I have a lot of interest in, and that's what I'm studying. I'm studying also marketing right now, and those are two subjects that I need. I need three, and after this year I will finish marketing and computer studies, and I'll focus on something else. I'll see what that is.
Now, I want to talk about the very interesting part. So when you came, was the 2021?
It
When you-
was, yes, September 2021. I was scouted to come here.
You already know what I would ask you. You already know.
Yeah.
You're reading my mind, okay?
Basically, there was a World Championship in Greece, and I assume that Milos Korolia, along with Voja Čupić, he was his assistant. He's now still a coach in Partizan. He was my coach for a few months. They are ex-players in Malta,
Yeah.
so I assume they came to watch one of our matches to either just to watch or to study the USA. And basically what happened was we shocked the USA and we beat them. I had a very good game. I scored 5-6 goals, I think.
Cool.
And from then, with their contacts, they showed some interest. I ended up having a good tournament all around.
Yeah.
And they said, you know, like, we have a lot of interest in you and we want to bring you just to see what you have, what you've got. And I ended up going to play with Banjica, which is the team B of Partizan. I went to play for 3 months. I went from September 2021 until January. And then I returned to Malta to do some exams. But my performance in those 3 months, it earned me an opportunity to play with the first team. And
Yeah.
last year with Milos Korolia, it was great. And I will always be thankful for him and the opportunity he gave me. And it was great, you know. And now I'm continuing on what happened last year.
Yeah.
Still working hard, you know, and we'll see what the future holds.
You know, like even if doing water polo is very difficult, we know why. It's a difficult field, and we know that it's not always easy. But when Partizan calls you, because we know what Partizan is in water polo, the most awarded club in Europe with Proreco, so it's an honor. We know the school, we know who played there, so it's a big thing, as you said.
For me, it was no question.
It's
It was no question to come here, you know. In Malta, we have this it's like a routine that when a player turns 15, 16 years old and he does his exams, these middle school exams, they would usually go for a year abroad. And there are some players who went and they made success, you know, there are some players who went and they came back, but they had good experience. My experience was here.
no.
And when I went to ask people for advice in Malta, they said, you know, Partizan is the best.
Yeah.
You know, this is no question. And from then I was like, you know, I'm in a safe place, best school in the world by far.
Yeah.
You know, most of the best players in Serbia played at one time or another with Partizan, you know. And, you know, this is the best place to be. Best place to develop.
Yes. I still remember one scene in my head. It was like around 2 years ago. I remember I was filming something at Banjica, something for Arena Sport, was like a reportage from Partizan, and with Korolia and Lovre Miloš was there. And I remember that some kids from Lazio came to Belgrade to play with the other kid. I think it was Lazio, and they were looking the trophies. They went to the office to look at the trophies, and they couldn't know where to look at first because you had 300.
I remember coming.
trophies and-
I remember coming here with the national team.
Yeah.
We came for like a tournament back in 2018. It was
Yeah.
called Partizan's Legends. And it was basically, there was Galatasaray, we came as a national team, and Partizan played with their players. And I remember going into the trophy room. It was a few seconds, but seeing all of that gold around you and seeing the community and how big it is.
Yeah.
Back in those times, you know, at the time I was 11 or 12. And I said, you know, when I grow up, I want to be somewhere here.
Yeah.
And it's funny that, you know, now I'm actually here, you know, but it's crazy, you know. Partizan is really, back then it showed how good they were, and the more I spent here, the more I know that, you know, this place is one of the best.
Partizan is very good at making players, and that's cool and everything. So how did you change since you came here? Can you compare yourself before Partizan and now after working with all these great coaches?
My mentality never changed, you know, to be here from the beginning I had to be a very hard-working player. You know, I had to be always trying to be better than everyone.
Yeah.
But what changed is my perspective. You know, in Malta, it's a very small place, and kind of you're in your own bubble. You know, there's only a few people, and it's easy to think that if you're the best in Malta, you're the best everywhere. And then I came here, and I realized it wasn't the case. You know, I realized I had to work harder. I realized I had to be more humble, and from that, and from the coaches who are super dedicated to what they do, it built me into becoming better in all aspects, be it, you know, communication with family, be it school, water polo, training, taking care of myself. It helped me in all aspects of life.
Before, when I was waiting for you after the practice, I take the opportunity to talk to your coach.
Yes.
So Coach Cherish was there, and he had good words for you guys. He said you're listening. So he's a great. Why that face? You're not listening.
No. I mean, in the season we expected that it would be hard because the team is very young. But through the good and through the bad, I think we're still developing, and the process is still going on, and I think it will end up being a great success.
He's a very good coach, and tell me how it's working with him.
To be honest, he is, I think, the most passionate coach I've ever had. You know, it shows that, you know, water polo is in his heart.
Yeah.
And when you see something like that, you think, you know, like, I would be a fool to not give him my all, you know, every day. And that's something that you have to remember. You know, to keep growing, you have to remember who's around you. You have to think about who you're with. I'm with Partizan, and I am a Partizan player. There's a standard, you know, that you have to reach. So with him, it's hard because the sessions are hard, training is hard, and you need to be alert all the time. But it's rewarding, you know. One day we will look back on it, and you know, I would say that Stefan Ceric was very important for my development.
I can hear when you're talking about Partizan that you're super, super proud of being a Partizan player.
Yes, they gave me the first opportunity when I was just a kid in Malta who was good, but they could have taken someone from their own, and instead they gave me the opportunity to come here and be one of them, you know. And for that I am forever thankful, you know. I will never forget it.
Naša taktika je biti bonus dobrodošlice.
Majke mi ne mogu da se odlučim.
Ja biram dobrodošlicu, puno voća.
Zato ja biram dnevni cashback.
Samo u Soccerbetu. Igraj i uživaj u bonusu koji izabereš. Soccerbet. Pravi bonusi na pravom mestu. Za prave igrače.
What's your dream, Džejdan? So your sports dream?
My dream will always be big, you know. I think that the day when my dream is not to be one of the best, it's time to stop, you know. And I will forever be chasing, you know, the name of being one of the best players in Europe, you know. And that's what I want. I don't think it's, you know, too big of a dream. I think with hard work and dedication, it's possible for anyone, you know. Just work hard, eat, sleep, train, and be focused. Don't let anyone get in your way, and you can make it. And for now, it's looking good, you know. I think that in a few years, everyone will know who Džejdan Kutajar is.
I'm sure they will, and I wish you a lot of luck for this. Thank you so much for this chat, this conversation.
Thank you.
To wrap it up, camera over here, do you have a message for the audience? I
will mention a lesson taught to me by my parents, a saying that I will go by for the rest of my life, from my mother and my father, Dexter and Leanne. How you do something is how you do everything. So give it your all, be strong, and be successful. That's it. Thank you.